You're not awake because you're broken. You're awake because something inside you refuses to stand down. The pain isn't loud, it's disciplined, obedient, guarding you from a danger that no longer exists. Night falls, and the world quiets. But inside you, something keeps watch. A silent sentinel paces the corridors of your mind, replaying moments you thought were finished, rehearsing futures that haven't arrived. You call it insomnia, stress, or pain, but what if it's obedience? What if a hidden law has convinced your inner world that rest is betrayal, that surrender means erasure? The body lies still, yet the soul remains upright, braced, alert, as if silence itself were unsafe. Somewhere along the way, trust was replaced with vigilance, and now even darkness feels like a threat. There is a phrase, old, hushed, almost forbidden, that doesn't fight this watcher. It dismisses it. But once spoken, something irreversible begins, and the night never feels the same again. There is a lie you have been living inside for so long that it no longer feels like a lie. It feels like responsibility, like duty, like survival polished into a virtue. You tell yourself that if you stay alert, if you stay tense, ready, braced, you will prevent disaster. That the moment you loosen your grip, something shocking will happen, something unbelievable. Something that will prove all your past desperation was justified, so you keep watch. Not because you want to, because something in you learned that watchfulness equals love. This is the wound no one names. Pain that is not chaotic, not screaming, not wild, but orderly. Pain that shows up on time. Pain that follows rules. Pain that stands guard like a soldier long after the war has ended, saluting shadows that no longer carry weapons. You didn't choose this. You were trained. There was a moment, maybe many moments, when rest was punished, when softness was followed by loss, when silence came right before impact. Your nervous system wrote it down like scripture. Stay awake, stay ready, never be caught unprepared again. And so now, even in safety, your body obeys an outdated command. This is where the contradiction begins to rot you from the inside. You want peace, but you equate peace with danger. You crave sleep, but your inner world hears sleep as surrender. So when night arrives, the betrayal begins, not from the world, but from within. One part of you begs for rest, another part tightens its grip and whispers, not yet, not safe, not ever. And the cost of this obedience is unbearable. Your muscles ache with a pain that has no present cause. Your thoughts spiral around regrets you cannot correct. Your chest tightens at nothing, everything, memory, imagination. You blame yourself. You call it weakness. You tell yourself you should let go. But how do you let go of something that believes it is protecting you? This is the tragedy. The part of you causing the pain is the part that loves you most. And it will not stand down just because you ask politely. It does not respond to logic. It does not respond to force. It responds only to authority. You haven't been suffering because you're broken. You've been suffering because you've been loyal. Loyal to a command that was never updated. Look closer, and something even more unsettling reveals itself. This vigilance is not fueled by fear alone. It is fueled by regret. Regret that you didn't see it coming last time. Regret that you trusted when you shouldn't have. Regret that you rested and paid for it. So the psyche swore an oath in the dark, never again. And now, every quiet moment is interrogated. Every calm breath is suspect. Your inner world treats peace like an intruder, something to be questioned, searched, possibly eliminated. You lie in bed, exhausted, and your mind begins its ritual patrol. What if this happens again? What if you missed something? What if the past repeats itself the moment you close your eyes? This is not madness, this is training. But here is the devastating truth no one tells you. The danger is gone. The command remains. And the body does not distinguish between past and present when the order is still active. So your nervous system burns energy like a city under siege. Your heart races for threats that exist only as echoes. Your pain persists, not as punishment, but as proof of loyalty. And the longer this continues, the more identity fuses with vigilance. You don't just feel alert, you are the alert one, the watcher, the sentinel, the one who doesn't sleep. To rest would mean betraying who you became to survive. And that is why no advice works. That is why solutions feel insulting. That is why relax feels like an attack. Because what you're really being asked to do is betray the very part of you that kept you alive. So you remain stuck in a silent war, fighting a battle that ended years ago, bleeding from wounds that are no longer being inflicted, only remembered. And somewhere deep inside, a question begins to tremble. What if the pain isn't asking to be fixed, but dismissed? There is a law operating beneath your suffering that no one warned you about. It is not loud. It does not argue. It does not negotiate. It listens. Your subconscious does not respond to effort. It responds to authority, not shouted authority, not desperate pleading, but the quiet, unquestioned command of something that knows. Think of it like a signal. Your waking mind screams at the night, "Stop, be quiet, let me sleep." But screaming is not authority, it is panic. The sentinel does not stand down for panic. It stands down only when it hears a frequency it recognizes as final. This is the betrayal of old beliefs, the moment of existential awakening. You were taught that change requires force, discipline, willpower, repetition, but the inner world moves on something far more subtle and far more shocking. It moves on impression. A whisper can outweigh a scream, if the whisper carries certainty. This is why the sentinel exists at all. At some point, long ago, it heard a command whispered in the dark. Stay alert. It isn't safe. And it believed it. Not because it was true forever, but because it was spoken with authority in a moment of desperation. The subconscious does not update itself automatically. It obeys the last unquestioned order, so it stands guard, loyal beyond reason, enforcing a law that was never repealed. Here is where the mirror turns. You have been fighting the sentinel, resenting it, trying to overpower it, never realizing that every act of resistance confirms the threat. Struggle sounds like danger to the subconscious. Effort sounds like emergency. Control sounds like fear. And fear keeps the watcher awake. This is the invisible law. What you fight, you energize. What you command, calmly, you dismiss. But dismissal is not rejection. It is recognition, followed by release. The shadow does not need to be destroyed. It needs to be relieved of duty. And that can only happen when a new authority enters the room. Imagine the sentinel again, not as an enemy, not as a flaw, but as a mirror, reflecting the last truth it was given. It does not question. It does not interpret. It enforces. This is why affirmations shouted in daylight fail at night. They carry no authority where the shadows live. Night listens only to what is whispered with certainty. This is the forbidden knowledge hidden in plain sight. The subconscious does not respond to meaning. It responds to tone, to frequency, to the calm finality of a command that does not ask permission. When the voice inside you trembles, the sentinel tightens its grip. When the voice is steady, low, slow, unquestionable, something ancient shifts. The law is impersonal, cold, exact. It does not care what you want. It obeys what you sound like. This is why the watcher has never left. It has never heard the dismissal, not the angry dismissal, not the pleading dismissal, but the kind that carries the energy of truth. And now, as this realization settles, something uncomfortable stirs. If this law is real, then your suffering was never random. It was obedience. And if obedience created this state, then authority could undo it. But authority is not something you perform, it is something you become. And that threshold has not yet been crossed. If something in your chest tightened just now, if this touched a truth you've guarded for years, do not stay silent. Silence is how the old command survives. This is not about algorithms, this is about alignment. Like this video, not as approval, but as recognition. Comment below what refuses to rest inside you, name it, even if it scares you. Subscribe, not to a channel, but to a frequency that finally speaks your language. Say it out loud, type it into the comments, make it real. Because the moment you acknowledge the sentinel, it begins to listen for something new. There is a moment just before sleep when the world goes thin, not silent, but hushed. This is where force fails and where the whisper begins. The shift is not a technique, it is not a practice, it is an orientation. Instead of fighting the watcher, you address it, not with emotion, not with urgency, with finality. A phrase, simple, inward, almost unnoticed, spoken not to convince, but to inform. It carries no argument, no explanation, only truth. This phrase does not ask the sentinel to relax. It does not tell it to stop. It tells it something far more unsettling. You are no longer needed, not shouted, not repeated, whispered once, with the certainty of someone who knows the threat is over. This is not comfort, it is command. The body hears it first, then the breath changes, then something releases, not all at once, but enough to notice. The pain does not vanish, but it loosens. The vigilance does not disappear, but it hesitates, and in that hesitation something new becomes possible. This is not surrender, it is dismissal. A signal sent down the chain of command, informing every cell, every nerve, every shadowed corner of the psyche that the watch has ended. No struggle, no negotiation, just a quiet change in status. The sentinel does not collapse, it steps back, confused at first, suspicious, but it recognizes authority when it hears it. And in that moment you may feel something unfamiliar, not relief, not peace, but space. A gap where pain used to press, a pause where thoughts used to race. Do not chase it, do not celebrate it, let it be incomplete. Because the shift has begun, but the identity has not yet caught up. There is a dangerous idea forming now. If the sentinel can be dismissed, then who are you without it? For so long, vigilance has been your identity, the strong one, the prepared one, the one who survives. To release the watch is to step into the unknown, but something else is emerging, quietly, powerfully. Not the one who endures the night, but the one who commands it. Authority does not look dramatic, it looks calm, it does not brace, it does not anticipate disaster, it knows. This is the rupture. You are no longer the guardian at the gate. You are the voice that decides whether the gate is needed at all. And this terrifies the old self, because power without tension feels like vulnerability. But it isn't. It is sovereignty. And sovereignty does not announce itself, it whispers. As this identity takes shape, the world responds differently. Night does not press as hard. Silence does not feel like a threat. But nothing is resolved. The sentinel still exists. The shadow still lingers. The difference is subtle and absolute. You are no longer at war with yourself. You are the authority the war was waiting for, and yet, the final transformation has not arrived. Not yet. Night falls again. The room is the same, the darkness unchanged, but something has shifted. Not visibly, not dramatically. A whisper hangs in the air, already spoken, already absorbed. No lesson, no conclusion. Just the charged silence after authority has been asserted. The sentinel listens, the shadows pause, and somewhere between breath and stillness, the night waits to see who you are now.